Hey, what is up, Conroe? This is Rick TRC. You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KZZWLP Conroe and 106.1 on KZCCLP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Hello and welcome to the Ticket Stub, your favorite place for movie news and reviews. We drop every Thursday on all podcast platforms and at noon at 104.5 and 106.1 from beautiful downtown Conroe, Texas. Yeah,
You got it, buddy.
I know. There you go.
Here we go.
There
Come
you
on.
go.
What's next?
I know. With the interrupting, I know.
Let's go.
I know. Well, follow us on Twitter and Facebook. The Ticket Stub is sponsored by the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinemas. Visit irlonestar.com for information about the show and sponsorships, or drop us a line at 936-647-3776. Also, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on any platform you happen to be listening to us right now.
Cool.
I'm Chris Appel, and I am sort of co-hosting today. Well, I am
Yeah.
co-hosting today.
You're
Connor-
co-hosting every Thursday.
I am.
So-
I am. So I don't know why I said that. But yes, Connor is out again.
yeah. Well, yeah, our schedule's been kind of going and effing out, and Connor's going to be gone for most of the summer due to work. So we're going to try to do our best to update the schedule and see when we can start pumping out some new episodes. But we have a special guest today, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
We have.
Who's in the studio with us?
This is Emeka, and I'm not
Emeka.
gonna say your last name because we got.
Well, why don't
this.
you let her introduce herself? What is your name?
My name's Emeka
Okay, what is your last name?
Sorensen.
Well,
Thorson.
see, I didn't want to do that because of the stalkers that we have.
Well, we're online, so everyone has stalkers.
okay, all right.
Just consider yourself special if you have the privilege of a stalker,
Thank you.
right? Is that how you're supposed to look at it?
I guess, yeah.
So, okay, cool. Well, Chris, man, I missed you. We haven't been on for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know it's been a while. Yeah.
So I miss you, and I miss Connor. Connor, if you're listening, or if you're listening on the podcast, please subscribe, and we're on iTunes and Google Play. Thanks, Connor.
Indeed.
What? You're the one leading this
Yeah,
horse.
I know. I didn't know if you were done. See, wait, I'm a little rusty on hosting.
Well,
but
for
anyway,
sure.
So today's show, we've got movie news like we usually do.
Yeah.
We're gonna rewind some movies.
Some exciting stuff's been going on in Hollywood.
Yep, that we saw last week. And then we're gonna play. It's not really a game. It's more of like an opinion thing of who would you cast.
It'd be Robert Pattinson as Batman.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
No, is that how you say his last name?
Pattinson.
Pattinson?
Yeah, Robert
Okay.
Pattinson.
I always call him Edward. He's Edward to me.
Yes, the Twilight guy.
Yeah.
The vampire. Yeah.
Cool. So what else besides movie news we got? We got our movie review.
That's why I said that already.
So I'm doing John Wick 3, still in theaters, folks.
Yes, and I'm doing Jason. Well, it's Friday the 13th part 8.
Jeez. Where'd you
Jason
find that?
Takes Manhattan. It's on Hulu. Like the first 8 of them are on Hulu.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched this one. I watched them out of order. I watched this one and I watched the first one.
Yeah, I saw that on HBO. They have every Land Before Time. Like every single one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was going through all their library alphabetically, and there was like a whole page. I was like, how many Land Before Times are there? There's at least 8. I know that. But, yeah.
Well, we didn't. Emeka is our brand ambassador.
Okay.
At the Grand in Conroe now.
Explain to people what brand ambassador is,
Yes,
Chris.
I will. It's the brand ambassador is somebody that works closely with our corporate office to execute the programs.
Is this
and
a power?
promotions.
Is this a power move by corporate saying we don't want to talk to you, Chris?
Kind of. I think
That's what
so.
I figured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I approve. No. Speaking of the Grand, we have the sponsor. We give away tickets.
Yes.
And all that good stuff. So if you're listening right now and you want to be entered to win 2 tickets to any Grand or Amstar theater across the United States, all you got to do is social media direct message us. So if you go on Facebook, Twitter, we're on Facebook, Twitter. We have email at theticketstubpodcast@gmail.com. If you just email or just message us and I want in, you're going to be put into the drawing, and we draw every week. So, and if you win, you are put back in, so don't worry. So it's just one time, and stay tuned. So,
All right, movie news. So the first
Cool.
article comes from ScreenRant.com, and apparently Robert Pattinson has been cast as Batman for some reason that I don't understand. And his Batman, his character is going to be 30 years old. So it'd be the youngest Batman it's going to be the youngest Batman. So, I mean, what do you think? I think that's the most ridiculous casting ever.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't really care about what happens to Batman because it's been all over the place for the past 10 years.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They've had so many opportunities to get this right or at least better, and they continue to just shoot themselves in the foot with this stuff.
Well, I mean, I think there is a viewership for Robert Pattinson. So I'd be weary if I saw this on paper going, oh, great, now the Twilight movies are going to be tied to Batman movies. The crowd, like the audience for those movies. So are they going to make Batman more like Twilight? Or is this because a lot of people don't realize, but Robert Pattinson's been in a lot of good movies, very independent films. Like people don't know about that stuff, so because all they think about is Twilight. So I'd be interested to see what involvement he was in the audition process. Was this something he brought to the DC people or to whoever's producing it, saying, "Hey, I want to be Batman, and this is my thoughts on it," and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's complete miscasting.
I mean, you can't. For some reason, I can't say anything about miscasting because I thought Will Smith was going to be the horrible genie, and apparently it wasn't that bad. So, because I thought it was going to tank hard, but not the movie. But I'm talking about his performance.
Yeah, see, Emeka saw that.
And so, was Will Smith his genie portrayal tank?
It was really good, actually.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I thought it was going to be dog doo doo, and apparently
Did you
it wasn't.
cry too?
No, I haven't seen the movie, but I'm talking about.
Well, how do you know if it's good?
I'm talking about people were talking about how good he was in it.
Oh, okay.
Which surprised me because I thought that was going to be the weakest link in that movie was Will Smith.
I didn't know he could sing so good.
Really?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
completely
He's a
unaware.
singer.
Yeah,
He's a rapper singer.
I didn't know.
Yeah. Well, you ever heard of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Okay. Well, what's your first? When I say Will Smith, what's the movie you think of, or works of art do you think of?
None.
None.
I can only think of the Karate Kid, but isn't that his son?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
so
go.
I'm all out.
We're just trying to figure it out. But no, I can't judge Robert being Batman just because. I mean, Will Smith.
I can. I guess so. They're going. So it seems to me like they're going more for a Batman Year One thing.
Okay.
Basically,
Yeah.
it seems like it. I think they're going in the wrong direction.
Oh, well, we do know for sure he's going to get paid bucos.
Yeah, he
so-
really is. He really is.
I mean, that's why I would want to be Batman right now because you're going like, oh, I can be in 4 different movies and not just I do 1 solo movie and then do 3 part-time movies.
So you're going to say thumbs up to him as Batman?
Sure, whatever.
Okay, no, I got to go thumbs down. This is going to be a train wreck. I can promise you.
Well, I think Ben Affleck was the train wreck.
Well, he was also a train wreck.
So-
They don't know what they're doing right now. And speaking of Warner Brothers,
Yeah.
the second article is Warner Brothers is the latest. This is from CBR.com. And it's Warner Brothers is the latest studio to react to Georgia's restrictive abortion law. And basically what, for those of you that don't know what this is, Georgia's basically going to effectively ban abortion completely. And some Hollywood
Not
movies...
really. 6 weeks, bro.
Well...
I'm just letting you know. Not gonna.
okay,
You
fine.
need to think about what you say
It's restrictive.
because this is a movie podcast, not real news podcast.
This
okay?
This has to do with movies.
I know it was a joke.
All right, so there's a lot of movie studios and like Netflix people and stuff like that that have decided or they're kicking it around to not make movies in Georgia anymore. And so basically Warner Brothers said they're going to watch the situation closely, and if the new law holds, then they're going to reconsider Georgia as a home for any new productions. So I guess my question is, are they over the line with this? I mean, I know they get to decide wherever they want to make movies, but
Ultimately, that's where the decision is. What's so funny about this culture today is, I bet you WB and anybody else, any producer, wouldn't care about it until someone asked them about it. So they don't have a policy in place before the law was proposed, and when it was proposed, they didn't have a policy that went into effect going, hey, we have this policy that we don't deal business with these kind of people. We got to get out. They don't care until somebody asks them a question. Hey, do you care about this? Because they do film all over the world that is far worse than what Georgia's doing with their passing of this law. So you're going to tell me, oh, we're going to consider it about Georgia. Sorry, we have big issues with that. but then we're gonna film everything in Northern Ireland where it's completely illegal to get an abortion. Like, you gotta get out of here off your high
So
horse.
you're saying they're hypocritical then?
I think they're just doing exactly what any large corporation does. They make a comment that is either yay or nay. I mean, they're very Russian USSR about this, where they do both sides. Like, yeah, we agree, but we'll think about it.
See, this is okay. Here's a good example of this. Apparently, there's I guess an anti-gay parade that's a straight parade, and it's going on. I think in New York.
Again,
and
it's not
somewhere.
anti-gay. It's just a straight parade.
Okay, it's a straight parade, but Axe Body Spray said that they don't want to have anything to do with that straight parade.
But why would they
because
have
they
to?
support gay rights. And I'm thinking, who was asking? Like Axe Body Spray? Do we really care what line?
Well,
you're
yeah,
on?
this is something that's interesting because why should we care about what these film producers are doing? And it's either A, they're really trying to change the law of the land through their influence, or they're finally they have a policy, or they have some type of representation. Like, this is what we do with our movies. Similar to like the Christian movies. That's what they try to do as a film company. They try to produce Christian faith-based films. And it's like, it's their policy. But to me, was I ever questioning Warner Brothers' policy about this kind of? No. Like, they're going to make movies all over the world.
Right.
And they're going to do it, and they're going to make subjects of their movies that are going to be distasteful. But no one cares. So
but it's an attempt to hurt the economy of Georgia by not making.
yeah, by
movies.
change. That's what I'm saying. Either A, they're trying to change the law, or B, they're just trying to.
Well, obviously,
they're trying to come over this current culture of outrage. It's like, how do we easily get over this? Let's just do yes and no. Let's just go. Yeah, we'll look into it.
It's very strange. I
So-
don't know. It's very strange that a decision would be made based on that. But that's me. I don't know. I don't make the big bucks in those decisions.
Why? I
Because
would.
to me, as a company, I would stay out of that completely.
That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't even.
Well,
Comment
that's what they're
on it,
doing.
Nothing like
this
that.
is today's example of how to stay out of it completely. You just say, yeah, we'll look into it. Like, they didn't say, if they pass this bill, we're out. They just go.
Well, they said they would reconsider if the law held.
They would. Is that a
That's
yes?
making an opinion. Yeah,
Well,
it is. I
that's
think.
not. That's if they execute that. You think they're really gonna execute it afterwards? No. They're gonna be
Probably
like,
not.
yeah, they're gonna be like, all
But
right.
why even?
I'm telling you, this is their way. That's the way of today of
Yeah.
staying out of it. Because everyone, and that's what I hate about this, like the Hollywood stuff, is everyone has to ask them the question, "What do you think of this?" Like, can you imagine going down the red carpet and getting asked a question like this every single time something like this happens? Like, why do we care about what Robert Patterson thinks of the abortion law? Like,
That is true.
But I guarantee you, there is a representation of the media on this red carpet. That's literally the only question they ask every single one passing by, because they're trying to get a sound bite. They're trying to get something to where they can use later. And it's like, oh yeah, remember that time we had Tom Cruise and he said something very similar to this?
Mhm.
Yeah, pull it up. Let's put it on there like he said it. And like, this is, I mean, I don't know why we have to ask these people this question, but it's all because of one company goes, oh, we're going to pull out. And then everyone's like, well, let's ask every single production company
Yeah.
if they're going to pull out or not. And I don't think it really matters that much. To me, it doesn't. I think it hurts. It's silly to hurt the economy and people's jobs who moved over there for this kind of stuff.
Right.
And then it's just like, oh, we want to dictate how you live your life in another state. To me, that's kind of weird. But then again, they do it all over the world. So,
I don't know. I think they should stay out of it.
well,
Mo-
yeah, duh.
Moving on. So we got this covered.com has put out an article that the new Lion King movie it's not live action, it's still animated, but all the animals look real, that the character of Pumbaa is too scary. They put out the poster and kids are finding this too scary. Dick, do you have it up on the screen?
Yeah, I pulled it up.
Emika, what do you think? You see that over there?
I just think it's ugly more than anything.
Well,
like,
the
I
thing-
don't really see that it's scary.
The thing that doesn't scare me that it's a warthog. That's fine. The Seth Rogen thing scares me. Like that it's voiced by Seth Rogen. That terrifies me far more.
Well, we talked about
than
this
that
a little
picture.
bit. This new shift in Disney's remake policy. It goes, well, what did you really expect a warthog to look like when they're trying to make it as realistic as possible?
Right. Well, that's what they look like.
And then I go, I can't wait till they come out with Bug's Life,
Yeah.
where everything's just terrifying on the screen. Because how many people do you know that love bugs? Like 1 out of 9. It's a very low chance
It is
that
very
people are
low.
like, oh yeah, I love that centipede. Oh yeah, it's so great. I'm like, no, that's creepy. And now I'm gonna have nightmares after watching the realistic Bug's Life. So, I mean, if kids are getting scared of what a warthog looks like, then I would tell them to go outside a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to encounter that in your neighborhood. Actually, I did.
So there you
it
go.
It wasn't a warthog. It was a boar. There was wild boars in my neighborhood, and I saw them.
Yeah.
It was
That's why in Texas you can get in a helicopter and literally shoot them from a helicopter.
not in a neighborhood.
I think pretty much anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
You
I'll
have
look
to be
into that.
licensed. It's not like I can just call a helicopter company. Take me up. Let's go shoot some hogs. I need to be licensed. But
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, the character is a warthog. That's what a warthog looks like. I don't know how to dumb that down for, people that can't
I'm saying
handle
this is where I love Disney's finally meaning, there is a negative side to doing these movies to make it realistic, because some of the stuff is just too real. And it's like
Yeah.
it doesn't fit the Disney cuteness. So
I mean, well, let us know on Facebook, Twitter, at @the_ticket_stub if you think this picture of Pumbaa is terrifying. Because that is literally the title of the article, is that the Lion King remakes Pumbaa is terrifying Disney fans.
I think they'll get over it.
I think they will too, but
So
you think they're going to change it?
no, I don't. There's
Like,
no way
maybe lose the
there's
horns?
there's no way they can change it. Yeah, they might get rid of some of the horns, but it's a warthog. How much can you change it to make it look less scary, but then take away it being a warthog? You think they're going to change Puma altogether and make it another cute animal?
What? Can you go down the list real quick? Do you have those photos up?
Yeah, I can pull them up.
Yeah. Okay, so these are the other characters, so we can kind of compare to Pumbaa. They're all going the realistic route. This is that's
Simba.
that's old Simba, right?
yeah.
And that's the
That's Nala,
okay.
Pumbaa, Timon.
Okay, there you go.
So there you go.
You had Scar on there, didn't you?
Yeah, Scar's right here.
Oh yeah, he looks like Terry Bradshaw to me.
Yeah.
He does. The hair, it's very close. Well, anyway, let us know if your kid's terrified by Pumbaa. So the new Rambo trailer dropped.
Yeah.
I personally did not even know this existed, this movie. So we're going to watch that. This is Sylvester Stallone reprising his role as Rambo this year.
Last Blood. Let's
Last Blood, yeah.
Let's talk about the title there for a second.
Last Blood. So the first one was First Blood.
Yeah. I think it was just dubbed First Blood. That's all it was called. And then when Rainbow 2 came out, they decided to pull a Star Wars and be like, hey, we need to put Rambo.
Okay.
I've lived in a world of death.
Sounds like Vin Diesel.
It's great. He needs to be in this movie.
Watch people I've loved die. Some fast with a bullet. Some not enough left to bury.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more.
All these years I've kept my secrets. But the time has come to face my past.
You ready?
And if it comes looking for me, they will welcome death.
He's 75 years old, I think.
Really?
I want them to know that death is coming. And there's nothing they can do to stop it.
It looks pretty good.
You think so?
It does. I would have
Well,
liked to see him put on a red bandana.
Well, let me ask you something. Do you remember what happened after Rambo 4?
No, why? No,
So that's
why would
why
I
I'm
remember
like,
that?
I wonder what he's talking about. Where it's like they come back and I, got to deal with it one last time.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Emeka, you don't even know who Rambo is, do you?
No idea.
Wow, yeah. No, she's too young.
Okay.
I like it. I
Did you
think
know
it's
he was
cool.
a singer?
I don't
No, I'm
even know
just
who he
making-
is.
Rambo.
I'm just making that up.
Sylvester Stallone, though,
Yep.
70. I think he's 75 years old. I mean, he's great shape.
Well, I think it's interesting that they decide he clearly wants to make money, and he's trying to get these franchises back a little bit because the last Rocky, there you go, I'm getting confused. The last Rambo was actually pretty entertaining. I remember seeing it, and it was very good.
Oh, that's right. It was
like he tore a dude's throat out. It was awesome.
Wasn't it like 2007 or something?
Yeah,
like that?
2010, I think, around that time.
Oh,
but it was good. It was very good. And then that's what I wonder does anyone even remember what happened in that movie? Because the only thing I remember is that guy's throat getting torn out. And I was like, whoa, this movie went to the next level with that one.
And he had the long hair in that too, didn't he? Yeah.
But I'm probably going to end up seeing this movie. I'm excited about it.
We need the red bandana. He's got to put that on.
Well, duh, it's the Last
not a
Blood.
Yeah, it's not a Rambo movie if that doesn't happen.
Because the first Rambo was really good, I thought, as a movie. Like, it's kind of like Rocky. The first Rocky is a really well-made movie. Then Rocky 2, it kind of went into its own world going, yeah, we know who we are.
You know who Rocky is, right?
The
Oh, man.
boxer?
There you go. There you go. Yeah, that's good.
That's good. But, yeah, do you want to take a break?
Yeah, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to rewind the movies that we watched last week. Dick saw John Wick 3, and I saw Friday the 13th, Part 8, and we might let Emeka in on this one, too. Which movie are you going to talk about? Aladdin. Okay.
There you go. All right.
We'll be right back on the Ticket Stub.
From the beginning, the main purpose of the Cooperative Extension Service has been to change human behavior by teaching people how to apply the results of scientific research. By utilizing a holistic, multi-level approach, Extension family and community health programs encourage health and well-being for everyone. Addressing values, concerns, and needs with reliable science-based information, Extension programs help people lead healthier lives. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
Hispanic Chamber Connections with Dr. Carlos Sanchez, President of the Woodlands Conroe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, featuring event announcements, member highlights, and more. Tuesdays at 1 p.m., broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas on irlonestar.com and Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
The Ticket Stub is sponsored by the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinemas.
With 18 locations around the country, the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinemas bring you the latest in state-of-the-art projection and sound,
including Fathom Events and Flashback Cinema.
Did you know your local Grand or Amstar Cinema serves a wide variety of adult beverages?
and some even have a full bar.
And moms, they didn't forget about you. They also have a large selection of wine to help you get through those kids' movies.
Visit your local Grand or Amstar Cinema today. Welcome back on the Ticket Stub. Don't forget to follow us on social media, on Twitter at @the_ticket_stub, and on Facebook, the Ticket Stub Podcast. We're also on YouTube. You can look us up there, the Ticket Stub Podcast on YouTube. I'm Chris. Connor is out today. We've got special guest Emeka, who is our brand ambassador at the Grand Theater in Conroe. You still doing good?
Yeah.
All right, good, good. And we've got Dick here as well.
Hey.
So it is that time every week where we rewind the movies that we watched last week. And just so you can see, Emeka, how it's supposed to be done, I'm going to let Dick go first because I have trouble with these. If anybody watches the show, it's like a train wreck whenever I do mine. So we'll.
I agree. You somehow get around not doing it by reading other people's reviews.
I do, and I do have that today as well.
All right, so I was lucky enough to see John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. That's the full title.
What does that mean?
I have no idea, really. Basically,
I'm gonna Google
the synopsis is Super Assassin John Wick is on the run after killing a member of the International Assassins Guild, and with a $14 million price tag on his head, he is a target of hitmen and women everywhere.
Ooh, it's a gun. It's a type of gun.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Type of semi-automatic pistol.
So this is the third John Wick. It was released, I believe, 2 weeks ago, and out of the three, it was very enjoyable. I would say I put this around, maybe for second or maybe for third. It's directed by Chad Stahelski. He is the stunt coordinator for the Matrix movies, The Hunger Games, Captain America, and he is the director of all the John Wicks. So he's been involved with all that. So he's very well-trained in the fighting and also fighting, directing, and action movies. So I was very impressed with this movie. It had a great cast in it. had the Iron Chef America host in it, which was a nice surprise. If you don't know who I'm talking about, I believe his name is, I'm trying to look it up. What was it? Do you know what I'm talking about, Iron Chef? No,
Gordon Ramsay.
It's Mark DeCasocos or something like that. I don't know.
Okay. Is Halle Berry's in this too, right?
Yeah, Halle Berry's in the
Okay,
movie. Also, big names would be Angelica Hudson. And then we have Lance Reddick and Lawrence Fishburne, Ian McShane, and then Halle Berry. So overall, the movie was very entertaining. I believe there was one fight sequence that seemed to last 30 minutes, so it got very tiring. I was very exhausted after I watched the movie because there's enough things going on. One thing that I was disappointed in with the action sequences, they weren't on par with the first John Wick in the sense of the realism. There was a couple scenes where it seemed like they didn't run out of bullets. And I remember the first John Wick was very adamant about, like, you can't just go into a room, shoot 15 people. You have to go into a room, shoot 7 or 10, and then reload. So there was some pacing to it. And in this movie, it was almost like he didn't have to reload ever. He just shot a bunch of people, which is, I mean, typical in an action movie. But
So Halle Berry has dogs in this movie, right?
yes,
Yeah.
she has 2 German Shepherds. So
And they're like, that's who does her bidding, like
Yeah.
her killing kind of deal.
well, it's part of her stick, I guess. She's able to be just as good as John Wick, but she has 2 dogs.
And she needs the dogs, right? Like she's not as good as him without the dogs.
I mean, I think the movie kind of lets you know that John Wick is just the best. So she just has 2 dogs. I think it's just adding another layer to the movie to make it more fun. Because after the third movie, there you can only do so many MMA, jiu-jitsu roles while shooting people in the head. So it's like, let's have some dogs chew up some people while we shoot them in the head. So there's that.
And you know, Halle Berry, she doesn't age at all.
No, I
She
think.
doesn't.
Well, yeah. I mean, what's weird to me about this movie though is they don't really let you know. They don't really know what's going to happen next. So it's like the characters are really cool, but then is Halle Berry going to be in the 4th one? I have no idea. I don't really think so. I don't know. I think she was just wanting to do this movie and goes, "Yeah, I'll be in it for half of it. That's cool."
Yeah.
So that's one thing I did like about this movie is it let other actors who've been in all 3 finally actually have a part, not like just a scene. So I like that a lot. Because actually, like, for example, the host of the hotel, Lance Reddick, he's the manager. He actually does something in the movie instead of just stand behind a counter doing these one lines. So he actually grabs a gun and fights. So that was kind of cool.
Is it one of those that's like nonstop action like
Yeah.
the whole time?
Yeah. As like I said, some parts it got exhausting. I was like, man, this scene's been going on for 30 minutes.
Well, people are coming out of the theater raving about it. Like,
I mean, it's very entertaining.
I'll be standing in the lobby and people will come over to me and say, "Have you seen that movie yet? It's awesome. You got to go see it."
It's well
like,
made.
Well, it's on my list.
And if it's one of those movies, if you like action movies, it's going to be on top of your list. Like the series is going to be up there because it's well made, and you can rewatch it and enjoy it just the same because of how good it comes off the screen. Because it's not like totally over the top where people are jumping through kind of like Fast and the Furious, where the people are going like they almost become superhumans.
Yeah.
And what's really funny is there's so many hints at the Matrix in this movie. Because a lot of the actors from the Matrix movies are in this movie, but they play very small roles. So I thought that was really cool.
Does he ever do that thing where he like leans backwards while
No.
bullets are going? Oh, he should have done that. That'd have been a nice nod to it.
So, sorry.
All right. So John Wick 3, so thumbs up for you?
Thumbs up, definitely.
All right. Well, Emeka, you saw Aladdin.
I did see Aladdin.
All right, well, what'd you think of it? Let us know here.
I really liked it. I haven't really seen the original one. Well, I mean, I guess
That's
I did.
crazy that she hasn't seen the original.
Have you seen
Aladdin.
any movies?
Okay, I did not
Well,
like movies when I was a kid.
Okay, you don't have to answer this question, but how old are you?
I'm 18.
Okay, because that explains a lot of the lack of scene because you haven't maybe seen the first Aladdin came out in like 92 or something like that. So or
I
96.
think we got it on one of those like VCR or whatever.
A VHS tape.
VHS,
yes.
whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't really
Well, what made you want to
care.
see Aladdin?
My mom.
Okay.
Actually, she liked it.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh, okay, well, I can take you. And so we went. She brought my brother and sister, but whatever. And we watched it, and I really liked it. I I didn't have any expectations.
That's what I
so-
figured. Because do you know the story of Aladdin?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Like, it was all new for me.
Oh, cool.
And so, of course, me being the emotional girl, I cried. It was really good.
Well,
To
good.
me.
Well, I'm always interested. I like how that perspective because this movie is kind of everyone always asks why is Disney doing this? Because no one really asked for a remake of a cartoon.
Well, don't they have to? Isn't it like part of that kind of contract or whatever?
Is
like
it?
they
What do you
have to
mean?
make movies ever so often.
Well, I think there's IP stuff where you actually have to if you own. They created Aladdin, so it wasn't
Oh,
like
so it doesn't go public domain?
Yeah, it's just
Oh.
I
it's
think
not
so,
like
yeah.
they. It's not like for example, it's not like the Fantastic Four where somebody bought the rights to make the movie about the Fantastic Four.
Maybe they just like think it could make more money.
Oh, for
so-
sure. No, I get that, but there's always going to be an audience that's never like you're perfect because if I was Disney, I'd call you and be like, "What did you think of this movie?" Because you never saw the first one, you had no idea what Aladdin was about because you can't judge the movie based off other things. Like for example, Will Smith, I thought that was going to be a horrible decision because Robin Williams was such a great genie, and so it's kind of like
Yeah.
how do you become bigger than Robin Williams' genie?
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's bigger than Robin Williams, but he
Well, you haven't
did
seen
do a
you haven't
good
seen the
job.
other Aladdin, so you have nothing to base off of.
Ironically, I did a monologue, the genie's monologue for theater last
Oh,
year.
okay.
Even though I've
Oh,
never
wow.
seen it.
But like I remember we were talking when they announced Aladdin. I go, they already own Robin Williams' voice. Why not just do a CGI genie with Robin, like the same exact
Yeah.
deal? Because he did such a good job. But I guess they wanted to pay more money for Will Smith, and which is fine. They
So
wanted,
it wasn't weird at all?
No,
Will
I thought
Smith
it was
genie?
okay. At first, it was, but then like, it looks like it flows. Like it was good.
You got
Yeah.
used to it.
Yeah, I got used to it. It was really good.
How's Aladdin? How's the Aladdin guy?
I thought he was too much of a pretty boy to be like,
a street rat.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's a street rat, but they have like a Bath and Body Works on the corner. That he
Well, that's one
steals
thing.
from.
When I saw a clip of when the opening scene for Prince Ali, the announcement when they have that song, and that's when I go, who directed this movie? Because I forgot Guy Ritchie
Guy
directed.
Ritchie,
I
yeah.
forgot that he directed because it looked like what you'd watch on NBC live theater Broadway thing. That's what it looked like, and it felt like a very stage oriented. It was not. I didn't feel like it looked like you were in the desert and part of the Arabian Nights kind of thing. It really felt like you were on a stage. Did the whole movie feel that way?
Mm,
Because it looked that way from that.
No,
It
I
was
think
about an
just-
8-minute scene.
yeah,
so-
that scene specifically was just really over the top.
Okay.
The whole movie wasn't like that. I really liked it. And Jasmine, she had a really strong voice. I think they casted her really well.
Cool. All right. So people check out Aladdin. Is the magic carpet in it? Does it have personality?
Yeah, it was. I liked them. And
The
the little
carpet talks?
monkey.
Oh,
no,
Boo?
the carpet doesn't talk.
A poo? Is that a poo or a boo?
I think it's a boo.
A boo.
oh yeah, the monkey.
I love the little
What about the
monkey.
parrot?
Oh, he's there
Iago?
too.
Who does that voice? Was that because it was Gilbert Gottfried in
Yeah.
the original one?
I have no idea. It doesn't know.
Okay.
Me neither. It just sounded like a little parrot. Like, they always make it really squeaky and high.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't scare you like Pumbaa, right?
No.
All right. So what?
So no lions in this one.
So Aladdin. It's still in theaters, right?
It is in theaters.
I saw
yeah.
it yesterday.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be in there for like the rest of the summer. I bet.
Maybe. Probably
Secret
not.
Life of Pets comes
Yeah,
out.
no,
So.
it's gonna get kind of bumped pretty soon.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Secret Life of Pets comes out
Today.
tonight. Yeah, tonight.
You know what's funny about that trailer? I saw that trailer and I still don't know what it's about. Because the only trailer I've seen 2 trailers for it, and it's just Kevin Hart's character being silly. Like there's no plot to it. It's just kind of like
Harrison Ford is in it.
So
There's a dog. There doesn't really need to be a plot. You should watch it regardless. Because there's a
Just like-
dog.
Entertaining cartoon dogs.
because I remember seeing the first one, and the only thing I brought away from it was the writers really sat there for a whole week going, "What are some really interesting things we could do with the plot device of the Secret Life of Pets?" So what are these pets doing while we're gone? And they wrote 500 of them, and they selected 50 of them, and put them in the movie. That was the only thing I remember. I was like, "Oh, that's pretty clever. That's pretty clever." There really wasn't a plot,
Yeah. It's gonna make a lot of money.
so
That's
nothing
for
wrong
sure.
with that.
No. Well, all right. I saw Friday the 13th, part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. This came out in 1989. It is rated R. It runs an hour and 40 minutes, which is right up my alley. It's really short. I like short movies. But the plot is a boat full of graduating high school students headed to Manhattan accidentally pull Jason Voorhees along for the ride. So, I'm going to do my thing. Rapid fire movie review. This is Tim Brayton from Agony and Ecstasy, an inscrutable narrative that pukes its way across an unforgivably long 100 minutes. Bill Clark from The Balcony, not even remotely scary, and on top of that, less than 1/3 of the film takes place in New York. False advertising, I say. I have to agree with that last review. It's Jason Takes Manhattan. He is literally there for maybe 15 minutes. The rest of it takes place on this supposed cruise ship. It's not a cruise ship. It's like a whaling vessel, but they're acting like these kids are taking their high school cruise. But it's like a whaling ship. And I'm like, where are all these kids' cabins? Where are they staying? Like, there's not enough room at all anywhere in the ship to do that. But anyway, so Jason gets, I guess somehow these kids accidentally electrocute him underwater and bring him back to life. And then he gets on this this yacht, and he drives the yacht himself to where these kids are going on a cruise ship, because I guess there's a girl on the ship that he tried to get when she fell into Crystal Lake, but he couldn't get her. I don't know how he would know that she's going on
Is that
this
the
cruise.
premise of Friday the 13th, where what is his drive to kill these people? Because if I remember correctly, the original was like his mom drowned him.
No.
In the Crystal Lake? Something happened at Crystal Lake.
He was a camper at Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
And the camp counselors went off to do, funny business.
Yeah.
And he drowned in the lake. Somehow in the middle of the lake. He doesn't know how to swim, but somehow got in the middle of the lake. I don't know. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. So anyway, he drowns, and the first Friday the 13th, his mom is like going around killing everybody, and then he sort of like comes out at the end. I don't even think they were going to have Jason in the movie, because he's not in the movie, the entire first movie, until the very end.
So she dresses up as the hockey mask.
No, there's no hockey mask. There's no anything.
Oh, really?
No, nothing like that. No, that came in subsequent films. But I guess Friday the 13th Part 8 is terrible. But one thing I kind of liked about it is when you think of Jason, you think of somebody that's like 7 foot tall.
Yeah, I think of a giant guy, hockey mask, and a machete. That's what I think. And like basically a onesie, like a mechanic's onesie.
Right. And he's dressed that way, but he's only like maybe 5'9" in this movie. So he's like a normal sized guy. So it's not like over the top, he's a super huge guy. He's played by Kane Hodder, the guy that did Jason in that movie. So, but the whole movie, it makes no sense. Like there's a part where the captain of the ship, his son is graduating with this class that's going on the cruise. And he decides in the beginning of the movie, he's going to relinquish his captainship and give it to the kid right before the cruise starts. So the kid's going to be the captain. Okay. But the kid pretty much refuses. And so the dad has to continue being the captain. I'm thinking this is such a weird plot point that they would do that. It's like, I'm going to give you this ship right now and then leave, and you take your kids to Manhattan. I don't know. I don't know why New York was even involved in this
Well, I
movie.
appreciate you wasting your time so we don't have to waste ours.
Oh, it was bad. Yeah, it was very bad. The killing was okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, it was all right. It's just he's just going around killing teenagers. Pretty much.
What's funny to me about the genre of horror, it really is a unique genre in the filmmaking business. Is you don't really have to have a lot of money to make a good horror film, and it's entertaining to see them try to do Jason 8, and I bet you they came up with a bunch of titles, and some guy goes, "Why don't we just say Takes Manhattan?"
Yeah. Oh, and if you watch the trailer is it's like a minute long. It's so deceiving. It's just they're playing the song New York, New York, and you see the New York skyline, and it just like pans over, and Jason's just like standing there on the other side of the river, just looking at New York. That has nothing to do with the movie.
That sucks.
Nothing. Yeah. So.
Well, that's what, like, for example, when I was watching we were watching the Rambo trailer, what my thought was, oh, I bet you the opening scene is him doing something in another country, but then the rest of the movie is him setting up the booby traps at his house. So the whole, the good chunk of the action is just located on his farm. That's it.
Yeah.
And I think that would be disappointing to me, because.
But I mean, if you're going to watch the Friday the 13th movies, you got to watch them from start to finish. You've got to watch one all the way up through Freddy versus Jason, and then there's a couple remakes.
What was the one, Jason X?
There's
Where he's
Jason
up in
X,
space.
he's in space.
I remember seeing that one.
Oh, yeah.
And that was kind of wild because something to do with like his heart or something like that. And then they're on a space station like in the future.
Yeah, it's not a good film. The first one is actually pretty good, but you spend the whole time, if you know anything about the movies, oh, where's Jason? Where's Jason? Not even mentioned really at all until like the end where the mom shows up and she's the person that's been, not I'm ruining it, but she's the person that's been killing everybody. So I think the second one, I might check that out tonight. I might watch the second one tonight. I'm kind of
because I always wondered if there was a true supernatural theme to Jason movies. Because I remember watching one randomly, and it was about his heart was exposed, and what it happens is it draws men to eat the heart, and they become Jason.
I think that was Jason Goes to Hell.
And it was there was a supernatural element to his body, like his physical body, where it would take over people if like it would call you and you'd eat them and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and then you become Jason, some weird thing like that.
Yeah, I got to go thumbs down for this movie, but you got to watch it. If you're going to watch all of them in order, you just got to sit through this one as well. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to play a game of Who Would You Cast? Stay with us on the Ticket Stub.
We have the safest food supply in the world. Strict laws and regulations restrict the usage of hormones, antibiotics, and pesticides within our food supply. Production agriculture practices and technologies such as the use of GMOs, which is not any more or less risky than conventional crop production, has allowed American farmers to produce more food on less acres in environmentally sound ways. Find out more online at pathtotheplate.tamu.edu. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make lives better.
The Ticket Stub is sponsored by the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinemas.
With 18 locations around the country, the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinemas bring you the latest in state-of-the-art projection and sound,
including Fathom Events and Flashback Cinema.
Did you know your local Grand or Amstar Cinema serves a wide variety of adult beverages?
And some even have a full bar.
And moms, they didn't forget about you. They also have a large selection of wine to help you get through those kids' movies.
Visit your local Grand or Amstar Cinema today.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show. With monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
Welcome back to the Ticket Stub.
Let's begin now.
We did some movie news. We rewound the movies we saw last week. So if you didn't get a chance to check that out, Emeka did Aladdin, Dick did John Wick 3, and I did Jason 8. Jason Takes Manhattan, Friday the 13th, part 8. So for this last segment, it's a game of, it's not really a game. It's more of like an opinion, but it's who would you cast? And some of the most iconic roles in movie history are going to be up for grabs soon. Where the current actors are leaving or they're quitting or they're just getting too old or whatever. And they're going to leave the franchise. And obviously they're big money making franchises. So they want to continue to make these films. So I wanted to know what you guys thought of who should be cast in these vacated roles when they get done. So the first one is Batman. Now I know they just picked Robert Pattinson, but that's a terrible choice. I think we can all agree. Awful choice. Dick doesn't think so. I think it's going to be a train wreck. So, who would you pick for Batman? You got somebody, Dick?
Well, what's interesting about all these roles is one, for example, like Jake Gyllenhaal. He could be. I could see him being a lot of these people. I can see it.
Is that your answer for all of them?
Well, no,
Jake
like
Gyllenhaal?
I mean, I could just see it because I mean, he's a pretty good actor. He has some range on him, and girls like him. So
Is that true? Do you know who that is?
Nope.
She doesn't even know who that is. So she doesn't like him.
okay?
All right. So you're picking Jake Gyllenhaal for Batman?
I mean, I'm saying like that's an actor I can see playing Batman, playing a good Bruce Wayne, because there's two characters you have to play as Bruce Wayne and Batman, and I saw him in Southpaw, so he can get jacked like Batman,
Oh yeah.
and I've seen him act, and I've seen him have the range, understanding what do I need to do with this character. So,
Well, it surely would be a better pick than Robert Pattinson, for sure.
I mean, I think you're just hating on this guy for no reason. You haven't seen any. Wait, have you seen any of his movies?
Yes.
What movies have you seen?
Remember Me.
Okay, that movie was awful.
Well, it's it has Pierce Brosnan in it, so that was something.
Yeah. What a great ending.
Yeah. Well, for those of
I'm
you
just
that
kidding.
don't know, that movie takes place on 9/11.
But you didn't know that until the very,
No,
very,
you didn't
very
know that,
end.
no.
Like I'm talking the closing shot
Yeah.
is, oh, this is what's happening right now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little weird movie. But no, I can see him playing. I mean, there's so many actors that are at his age right now that could be playing all these kind of things. Because like, to me, with your list, like Batman, I can see Jake Gyllenhaal playing it. But I can also see, like, if we're choosing someone older to do it, who would you choose?
See, that's where I went with Batman.
Yeah.
I'm going to say bring back Michael Keaton, and let's do an old Batman.
Yeah.
Like he's an older Batman, and people like this. This is it's a comic book.
Yeah.
I think they're going in the wrong direction. They keep rebooting. They keep getting these young. Now they're going younger. Let's just give everybody what they want and do a Michael Keaton with one where he's older. They can save the DC franchise. Everybody has faith.
What they
in it
could have
now.
done, if like to make the best of both worlds for you, they could have done Batman Beyond. And Batman Beyond, the old Batman is Keaton, and the young one is Patterson, the young kid.
Yeah.
And you could have done that, and I can see that,
Yeah.
but no one really cares about that stuff.
My Michael Keaton. Emma, could you have anybody? For
Who
Batman
would you want to
think?
see as Batman?
Well, I don't know very many actors, but for Batman, it's got to be somebody with who's really buff. That's all. That's
Yeah,
my
so there you
opinion.
go. It's like
Really
Ben
buff.
Affleck.
Yeah, so it's got to be
There you go.
buff, and then what was the other one? Spider-Man. He's got to be skinny, and
Yeah.
then Superman's got to be in the middle. That's it.
Well, I
That's
figured
my
Superman
opinion.
would be the buffest.
I don't know. Does Superman even have to work out? I know
No, he
Batman.
doesn't.
Batman's a human
that
being.
is true. He doesn't have to
So
work
is
out.
it like
he just
his
chooses
alien
to.
race always looks big?
I don't know.
How does Superman work out? Is he like go get submarines or something and just lifts those things?
He lifts other planets.
Is it, yeah.
All right, moving on. Indiana Jones. Now, Harrison Ford said.
All right, so I have an idea for this.
Yeah, Harrison Ford said, it was on one of the Jimmy shows. It was the Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel. He said nobody should fill the role. I don't know if he was joking. I guess he was joking, but nobody should take over after him. Once he's done, it should be done. Dick, who do you think?
I'm thinking it depends on what the age is.
I'd say,
And if you
to
scruff
make at
them
least
up,
4 or 5 movies.
Okay, so you're talking about like we're rebooting Indiana Jones.
I think it's probably okay at this point to do
Okay,
that.
so we're rebooting. I mean, honestly, I like Michael Fassbender and I like Ryan Gosling. I can see both of those because they're charming.
Mhm.
And I mean, Michael Fassbender looks a little rough on the edges, which is Indiana Jones. He's a professor, but he's also an archaeologist.
That is true. That's one thing I did forget in the pick that I made, that he
Yeah.
also has to be a doctor. But
So
I don't
yeah,
know.
and I think those two guys could pull it off. I think roughing them up a little bit would be all right.
Well, I'm going to go with Chris Pratt. I think Chris Pratt is the perfect choice for Indiana Jones. He's funny. He's good at action, which we didn't know till Jurassic World.
Yeah.
But I think he's just a fantastic choice and very likable. And I can't really see anybody else doing this role other than him. What do you think, Emika?
I've actually never even seen them, so
Well,
no
there
opinion.
you go. She has no opinion.
All right.
All right, James Bond. So there's a lot of problems with this current James Bond movie. Daniel
Yeah.
Craig hurt himself. He hurt his ankle again. He hurts himself every time. He's got to have surgery on that, so that's done. And there was an explosion at Pinewood Studios a couple days ago. The set blew up or something, and one of the crew guys got injured. So there's a few problems on the Bond movie. Supposedly, this is going to be his last one, but there's been some talk it might not
Yeah.
be. But so Phil and James Bond, we've talked about it a little bit on the show before. Who do you think, Dick?
I really liked when I can't pronounce his right name. The English actor Idris Elba. I really like the idea of him.
He's been mentioned a lot.
I really like him being the idea of being Bond. And what I like about Bond, and you don't like, because you're a huge diehard Bond fan, is when you talk about the roots of Bond and the way Ian Fleming created the character. I think as the production company, we have to decide: are we going to stay true to the roots, or are we going to try to rebrand in the current rebranding world of what James Bond can be? Because like if you're gonna go to the left with Ian Fleming's, then you choose the typical suave Michael Fassbender, those kind of people. But then if you want to rebrand it, I would almost say you can choose a woman if you really wanted to. If you really wanted to go, I'm talking outside the box.
We're not going to do that.
I like I said, it depends on what you're trying to achieve as the movie. I think Idris would be great if that's how I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Yeah. I think he would be great. If you don't know, hey, watch a show called Luther. He's in a lot of other movies. He's actually in the newest Hobbs and Shaw,
yeah.
And so I think he would be perfect. If I had to choose, that's who I'd be.
Well, I would choose Michael Fassbender, but I would set the movie
back in the 60s.
Back in the 60s,
yeah, oh yeah,
yes.
That's what I'm saying. That's who Michael Fassbender has the charm, and he looks like a good James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, the next one, Superman. Superman. I mean, it seems like we're losing all of the superheroes now. Superman being one of them, I guess. Henry Cavill is.
He was good.
Done. Yeah, he was good, and I guess he's done. So who would you pick?
Man, that's a good question, because the thing that stinks about Superman, especially all these characters, they already have a defined look. Besides James Bond, James Bond kind of does. If you're a book nerd, yeah, he has a defined look. But if you're just an overall James Bond, he just has to look clean cut and wears a tux right.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all you care about. But Superman, yeah, he has to have jet black hair, has to be buff, has to be using a lot of that. What does that call you put in your hair?
Gel.
No, yeah, gel or whatever. There's another word for it.
Pomade.
Pomade, yeah. That's. I mean, it's so like
something from the 50s.
Yeah, it doesn't move, so it has like that correct wave.
Yeah.
I really don't know who would be a good. I mean, if it was me, I'd try out Nicolas Cage just because why not?
There you go. Yeah. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
that documentary?
Because back in the late '80s,
yeah.
he was considered for.
It's a really good documentary where they were making his Superman movie that failed. It is a hard one. I agree with you, and I'm going to go with The Rock.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
really?
Yeah. It's just almost for lack of other options, but I think it would be entertaining. And who he is like, what says America more than The Rock, really? And Superman, he's like
Superman,
America's hero.
Is he?
Yeah. Well, he defends America, right?
Well, what's interesting too is
that's Captain America.
You have to
see, I'm confused.
You have to look at the past actors who played Superman.
Christopher
and
Reeve.
all across the board, because there's a TV show, there was the original movies. Yeah. With who directed? Richard Donner directed those. I think so. Yeah, but in like those, and then you had Smallville, and then you had the reboot of Superman Returns, and then they changed the actor again.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of Supermans. If you take a picture, and I found one. They all. I want to see if I can pull it up big screen. I don't know if I can do that. But they all look similar, and to me, it's so easy to find a good Superman. I think they hit the jackpot with the current one that they lost.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
That was probably the best rendition of him, because he did look a little alien, and he definitely had the development of he likes Earth now, and you understand it. Because to me, like Christopher Reeves and all the other ones, I know you can't really knock Christopher Reeves, but he didn't really seem to have a lot of depth, and somehow this current guy added depth to the character. So
yeah, they should really probably go with an unknown. And Henry Cavill was relatively unknown when they chose him.
Yeah.
So,
and he should be James Bond, if anything.
I don't know about that. See, he's too buff to be James Bond.
Yeah, but have you seen Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
Yeah,
that was good. He's good in it.
Yeah. Well, the last one, it's a duel. It's a double.
All right.
Captain America, Chris Evans, he's done as Captain America, and Iron Man is supposedly done.
Okay.
Robert Downey Jr. So those roles, they're going to bring him back. They got to bring him back. So who's filling them?
I don't know.
I'll tell you. I went with Ben Affleck and Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt for Iron Man and Ben Affleck for Captain America. You know, because I feel like Ben Affleck kind of got a bad deal with Batman.
Well, did we even know the full story about why his movie was canceled?
I'm assuming it had something to do with the rehabs and stuff.
Okay.
I think.
Like, I don't think a lot of people knew they were making a movie. They were in the middle of making a Batman movie with Ben Affleck, like a solo.
Well,
Batman movie.
he was in the middle.
He
of
was directing
the
it.
divorce, and then he's got into the drugs and stuff.
Oh, is that what happened? I had no idea.
Well, not drugs, drinking. I think it was really, really bad.
Okay, so he could have played a really great great Batman as an old Batman. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
Awesome. Well, that's gonna just about do it for us. On the ticket stub for today.
Thank you. You want me to close this out?
Yeah,
I'll
go
do
ahead.
it.
But yeah, we gotta
say thank you to our special co-host.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And I really am glad I met you because I always wanted to hear somebody who saw Aladdin, the new one, and hasn't seen the previous one. Because
I'm the one.
that's good. Thank you. That was a special treat today.
And she'll be in again when we get some more programs and stuff we're going to promote. But I just wanted to introduce her to everybody today.
Perfect.
She might be on the show a few more times.
And for folks who want to win some tickets to Amstar and the Grand, don't forget they sponsor the show. And all you got to do is just send us a direct message. And then we'll put you into the drawing. And then also, we're going to be, our summer's kind of sporadic right now because everyone else has a job. So we're going to try to update our Facebook and our social media when our next show will drop. So stay tuned for more information on that. So make sure to follow us on those great places and enjoy some movies coming out. I think I'm going to check out Godzilla. I've heard great things about viewership on that. Viewers' opinions, not critics' opinions.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those rare things where the audience loves the movie, but the critics hate it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to check out Godzilla. You checking out anything?
I'm going to keep watching the Jason movies, so we'll see what happens next week.
How about you?
The Secret Life of Pets.
All right, 2, right? Number 2.
Yeah.
Number
It
2.
released today. All right, guys. We'll see you later. This is the Ticket Stub. Thanks for checking out this show on Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station. This show is owned and produced by Lone Star Community Radio and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. For more information about the show, to be a guest, or to sponsor, just contact the studio at 936-647-3776 to leave a message, or email us at lscrstudios@gmail.com.